Welcome back to today's Explainer. So, if you've been paying any attention to the global macro landscape here in mid-2026, you've definitely noticed something different, a massive, fundamental shift. We are finally moving away from that exhausting daily market noise, that hyperfixation on short-term trading, and we are zooming way out. We're getting back to long-term building. Seriously, welcome to the infrastructure era. Just look at the morning briefs lately. They're all singing a completely new tune. You keep seeing phrases exactly like this. Emphasize long-term investment, productivity, and infrastructure rather than short-term speculation. That massive hype cycle we were stuck in, yeah, it's officially over. We've entered this phase of serious, sustained capital allocation where businesses are just strictly disciplined. They're finally looking at the horizon again. So what does this actually look like on the ground? Well, we are literally trading in that short-term noise for massive nationwide physical investments. Capital is absolutely pouring into data center expansion, semiconductor manufacturing, and completely overhauling supply chain resilience. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. We are, quite literally, rebuilding the industrial economy from the ground up. Which brings us to the core engine behind all of this, in Section 1, AI as the new foundation. Because when we talk about AI infrastructure, we're talking about the whole shebang. The physical and digital systems, the colossal data centers, the advanced semiconductors, and the edge computing hardware required to actually deploy enterprise AI at a massive scale. It's totally evolved from being this cool novelty into an absolute foundational component of modern computing. In fact, it's now one of the world's absolute largest investment priorities, bar none. And let's be clear, businesses aren't just playing around or experimenting anymore. They have incredibly strict objectives for their AI deployments. We're talking measurable productivity, rock-solid reliability, ironclad cybersecurity, and deep automation. Right now, if a piece of technology doesn't directly, provably improve operational efficiency or security, organizations simply are not buying it. End of story. But here is where the digital world violently crashes into the physical one. These AI data centers, they are incredibly power-hungry. They are driving a massive, unprecedented spike in long-term electricity demand. And this is actively accelerating grid modernization across the board. It's forcing utilities to entirely rethink their forecasts and is driving massive renewed investments straight into nuclear energy, battery storage, and major transmission infrastructure. Moving on to Section 2, Study Scientific Momentum. Because of this incredibly strong infrastructure foundation we're building, we are seeing some absolutely wild parallel advancements happening all at once across major scientific sectors. Look at space. NASA is aggressively pushing forward with the Artemis preparations and some really serious Mars exploration planning. In energy, fusion research and massive battery storage deployments are gaining real, undeniable momentum. And over in medicine, AI is actively supercharging diagnostics, precision medicine, and steadily pushing the boundaries of cancer research. It is truly an amazing time to be watching these spaces. But what does this all mean for everyday careers? Let's look at Section 3, the modern workforce adapts. Make no mistake, AI is fundamentally reshaping knowledge work as we know it. We're seeing this intense, specific demand for AI skills right alongside the extremely widespread adoption of AI coding assistants by developers everywhere. Employers are heavily pivoting to skills-based hiring, and specialized critical roles like cybersecurity remain incredibly resilient no matter what the broader market is doing. So the main takeaway for you and me, continuous lifelong learning is literally your ultimate competitive advantage right now. So as AI completely reshapes knowledge work, you really have to ask yourself a tough question. Is your organization actually investing in its people right alongside this technology? Because let's be real, all this digital transformation and shiny new infrastructure, it's pretty much useless without workforce modernization. The most successful organizations today are the ones that perfectly balance those massive physical and digital investments with their human capital. Definitely keep that in mind as you navigate this new infrastructure era. Thanks so much for joining me on today's Explainer, and as always, keep learning.